booktube. Chelsea, the Reading Outlaw, here to do my February TBR for you guys. January was a really awesome month. I read a lot of books in January, so I'm hoping to be able to keep that up going into February. So there's a fair number of titles on this list. As always, there will be things that I read that don't appear on this list, and some of the things on this list won't actually get read, but these are the things that I'm hoping to get to in the month of February. A couple of things are guarantees, and those are the books we'll be reading for the podcast. So that is Certain Dark Things by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is, I guess, a vampire book. I'm not really entirely sure Claire picked it, but I loved Signal to Noise by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I read it last year. So if this is anything like that, then I am here for it. I am super excited to maybe get over my aversion to vampire books. We will see. Hopefully Sylvia can do that for me. The next book is Her Smoke Grows Up Forever. This is a collection of short stories by James Tiptree Jr. These are the short stories we are going to be reading for our next episode of the Magical Space Pussycats. We have never really done a short story collection, so I'm really excited to read some short fiction. I've also never read any Tiptree, so it's like a double whammy back to back for this one, and I'm really, really excited. And then the last book that I will definitely be getting to no matter what is the Sexy in 17 February read, and that is Gentlemen in the Streets by Alicia Ray. This is a contemporary woman of color romance that I'm hoping kind of turns the energy around on Sexy in 17 after we didn't necessarily pick the best book to start with, or at least I didn't pick the best book for all of us to start with. After that, we have the Chelsea is catching up on reading for the Hugos thing that is happening right now that's going to be happening for the next month and a half or so until nominations are due. So I am going to read On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Duvis. This is a book about the apocalypse and a girl with autism trying to convince a generationship to let her and her mother on. Her mother is a drug addict or a prostitute or both. I don't entirely remember from the blurb, but essentially it questions like, how do we determine value in our country and in our future? And what place do those with mental illness have going forward in the future? Spoiler alert, it's a big one. Don't discount us. But there is definitely a lot going on in here with those questions. And I have not really read a lot of books with protagonists on the spectrum. So it's really, really awesome to see autism displayed in a young adult book that's also a science fiction book and not a memoir. After that, we have An Accident of Stars by Foz Meadows. This is a portal fantasy book full of women of color and queer women. I've picked it up before, but unfortunately my hold on it was due by the time I actually got around to reading it, so I didn't get the chance, so I'm going to pick it up now. After that comes Sorcerer of the Wild Deeps by Kai Ashanti Williams. This is actually a reread. This is one of my favorite novellas from the Tor line. I just want to reread it because I'm going to nominate it, and I liked it, so I'm gonna. And then we have a couple of books that are romance books, but are not for 16, 17, and are definitely not for the Hugos. They are just for fun. And that is two Lucy Parker books. The first one is Act Like It. This one has been thrust at me by Kay so many times, I have lost track. I can't hear her talk about it anymore, you guys. She loves it so much, and I'm so excited to get to it. Pretty Face is, I believe, just getting ready to come out. I believe it comes out at the beginning of February, but I'm going to double check. These are essentially just contemporary romance books featuring actors and directors, like I said. I don't know a ton about them other than that they come very highly recommended by Kay, and I'm really excited to get to some light, contemporary, fun, really powerful, lady-friendly romance. Next up, there's a bunch of stuff on audio that I really want to get to. The first one is Searching for Sunday, Loving, Leaving, and Finding the Church by Rachel Held Evans. There are a lot of things about my identity that I am totally cool with and totally fine with and like settled in, but religion is still one of those things that I am kind of always wrestling with and questioning. I go to a church whose tagline is a home for non and nominally Christian people to explore. So essentially my church very much so structures itself as being a place for non-believers to come and start the process of belief. Unfortunately, that's not necessarily a context or a lens through which I feel a lot of churches operate. But I found this book, Wrecked by Book Riot by Kelly Jensen, and she was saying that if you are a person who struggles with faith or who wants to see how feminism and radicalism and faith can all intersect, that this is a book to read. So of course I went and found it and picked it up, and I'm going to be reading it, and I'm really excited to kind of see what Rachel has to say on the subject. Next up on audio is Dr. Mooter's Marvels by Kristen O'Keefe Apowitz. Y'all have seen this one before. I got it on print and never actually got to it, but it just sounded so fascinating that when I saw my Overdrive had it, I checked it out immediately, and I'm just really interested in getting to this kind of interesting, eclectic science, memoir, history thing. And then lastly, we have Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. A lot of you have read this book. A lot of you have seen this book floating around. I can be a little wary of like self-help books because they get a bad rap and a lot of them are very woo-woo. But I've heard really great things about this from people who I know are as anti-woo-woo as I am. So since 2017 is kind of the year that I am getting shit going on my passion projects and stuff that I've kind of been messing around with for a while, but not really daring greatly to do, I'm really excited to get to this book and just see what Miss Brown has to offer and see what Brene has to toss up that will help me moving forward and kicking the shit out of 2017. So yeah, that's my February TBR. Like I said, that won't be everything, and I probably won't get to everything on this list, but it's a really good starting point. If you've read any of these, or if you're gonna read any of these, as always, let me know down below. And of course, you can always like, subscribe, and come check me out all over social media. I'm always here to talk books with you guys. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have happy reading.